see if this is working. Oh, I was supposed to have this in a different phase. Like, that's how that was supposed to look. So you couldn't see my background. Can you hear me okay? This is a different setup today. Clearly. I'm gonna go ahead and add my friend to the stage and give you guys the update. It's a said Chibi update. And we're in the brush hour, so we're gonna see what we can accomplish in an hour, because I do have plans today. As you can tell, I'm not in my studio. But like I said, let me know if you can hear me okay. I've got the got my little microphone right here. And obviously it would be better if I'm right in front of it. But last time I was on location visiting my parents, I was having some microphone issues. And so it's going to be difficult to draw holding this, but I can always try. I don't know if you can hear all the noises of my hands when I'm holding this, but chat. I didn't know that the dark side of nature was coming back today. Yeah, I'm trying to be faithful. Like every Tuesday morning. I did start a little earlier than I normally do, but if you don't know what this is a reference to, I know that Retro Collective put in the chat, I pinned it for my gaming channel. Now, unfortunately, I won't be able to game while I'm away. Or at least I can't stream. If Nomi decides that she wants to game, or somebody else like Sevi or something like that, I could probably game, but I can't stream it because I kind of sort of don't remember what my Kick password was. And apparently I created 2 accounts with a similar name. My music is louder? Really? Okay, I'll fix that because I have it on the, obviously it's a different microphone. I have it on the same setting that... I don't know what this does. I'm afraid to touch things. I mean, I can always turn the music off. I do that to kind of make sure that you can't hear like the dogs and stuff in the background. The music is really loud. That's interesting. That's interesting because I in my when I'm back at the house, I have it on 19. I have it on 15 here. So I'll turn it way down. I'll turn it down to 9, and then you guys let me know if that works. Is that better? I appreciate everybody letting me know. Obviously, I am holding the microphone right in front of my face, so maybe if you could see this setup, everybody, you would be like, "Oh my word." Maybe I need to work on getting a traveling boom arm. It's going to be interesting. We're going to try to make it work, but I'm going to set this down. Hopefully, it's not terrible. Maybe there won't be as much conversation. But I appreciate everybody being here. Let me get my little glove on. Do you like my background? I decided to use my parents' TV as my background. Oh my gosh. It is. No, your tech support's not needed. It's more about just the microphone itself. It's not quite as... It's much better. Okay. Now I can't even hear the music, so that's very strange. Who knows, as long as it works. But I'm going to say hi to Retro, who did put my gaming channel there. And I know my camera's not really like focusing either. It is what it is. Jonathan Reyes is here. Alasia, good morning. JPS. Am I missing anybody? Let's see. We already saw Chaz. Like I said, if you don't know what the dark side of nature is talking about, check out the gaming channel. I have some clips, some snippets of when I was playing Split Fiction with Joe. And hopefully I'll get back to it. Nomi's the one letting me know that the music was too loud. Sorry about that. Icanalus, hello. You sound good where it is. Like, how about now? Because I was holding the microphone at my face, and I can't really do that and draw properly. So I'll try. Well, let's go ahead and get started. This is, like I said, a completely different kind of setup than what I'm used to having. So we're going to give it a try. Juliet, I see you. Let's turn this over this way a little bit more. Good morning. All right. So, let's see. I'm going to get black. I need to increase the brightness of my screen here. And so what I was saying with like having it listed as the Chibi update is, by the way, look at my cute little giraffe mug. Cute. I mean, it's actually my mom's, but it's cute. I'm using it this morning. Oh, and I need to get my reference up here. So I'm going to be opening up the shop, a new shop. Let's see, what do I want to do? I've never really done this before. I'm going to be opening up a new shop that's going to be here available, like linked through YouTube, because Etsy sucks. Okay. Etsy sucks anymore. And it was good while it was, lasted and stuff like that, but it's just, it ain't the bee's knees anymore. And so I mean, my shop is already available. You can get like my How to Train Your Dragon poster. You can, I think there's a shirt design that I haven't advertised yet, but I'm pretty happy with it. But I want to be able to put my transfer my chibis there. And I thought it would be time to do like an update where I take the chibis, like you could on my Etsy, you can get, oh no, it's not. Is it lagging? Uh-oh. Is my screen kind of lagging? Because okay, just a little bit of a lag, so I'll try to go slower. I'm also using an additional screen, so maybe that's what it is. It might just be too much for my laptop to handle. But I did this picture of Buggy the Clown. This is a hand drawn. You might be able to tell by the details that this was hand drawn originally. I might need to do this, and then we're going to put a background color. That's better. There we go. Learning things about Procreate. It was hand drawn, hand colored, coloring pencils, marker, all the good stuff. And I just thought it would be time for an update. And when I wanted to go post my stickers on, the company's called Fourth Wall. And when I wanted to post my pictures there, I don't know. It seemed kind of weird when it comes to the transparency situation. There were things that were in the way, that were hindering. And so, whoops. I thought, what if I've gotten so much into the digital artwork these days. What if I tried to update it with the digital? And, no, Julia, you would not want to come across. And like, this is like the cutesified version of this clown. But if you've ever seen One Piece, like either the Netflix live action or the anime, it's pretty creepy, pretty sadistic person. I will say that I love, as far as creation goes, I do love the concept and the design of this this character. I think it's that's one reason why I did it. I found him to be such a fascinating character because he's so unique, with the blue hair and the makeup, and then with these knives coming out, everything fantastic. The reason is because I didn't have that picture listed, like, so that's the whole reason. Besides, because it's my shop and I have the info, I would have gotten the info anyway. I just wanted your personal information. That's all. That's what it came down to. Fantastic. I needed to know who was the man behind the curtain. That's what it was. I'm sneaky and conniving like that. So I'm going to outline this and color this. I mean, I've got all the work pretty much done. I've got the character drawn, everything's there, but now I just need to kind of maybe fix some things a little bit. Like, you might notice that his shoe and the dagger coming out of it aren't quite, like, it's not really the proper angle. So maybe I can adjust that as well. Have I watched the anime? I have tried, because I do find it to be a fascinating story. But I will say, and this is probably going to make some people cry, but I like the live action better than the anime. Anime's just, it has to be a certain kind of anime for me to really enjoy, because they scream a lot, man. Like, everything they do is just like yelling at one another. And so Nomi got me into watching, what's it called? Jujutsu Kaisen. And I started watching that one and I was enjoying it. And then they started, I'm going to sound terrible. Then they started including the women. And then it was like, it was all gone from there. I mean, some of the men were really, really annoying as well, but it was like, why do the women always have to scream and yell and act like little brats who live off of dad's credit card? Like, it's fantastic. Well, fantastic. The other reason was because you wanted it autographed. That was the reason, you know. I can't do that with the shop. So, you know, I have yet to find the perfect brush in Procreate that gives me line variation the way that I would really want it. And I don't know if they make that. I might have to make my own. I've been doing some research on that because it's a little bit frustrating. Maybe it has to do with pressure sensitive. No, see, it doesn't really matter with that. So, but anyway, I enjoyed it. I know I need to finish Attack on Titan. I haven't done that yet. I started it. It was getting really good. And then I just got busy with other things. I don't really watch a lot of stuff. And if I do, kind of helps my art process, actually. If I'm either listening to an audiobook or if I'm watching a show or listening to it, it helps keep me focused. But it can't be something really interesting. Hence why I always kind of go back and watch stuff that I've already seen. Or if it's not too deep, like maybe I'll watch an Agatha Christie mystery or something like that. And here's the shoe. Let's go ahead and just draw the shoe the way that we have it. Let's maybe increase the size. I'm just going to go ahead and draw the shoe as is and then change it up. Maybe instead of changing the shoe, I can just change the blade. That might make it easier. Hey, it's Biggles. Hey, Biggles. When I get back, we're going to set a date for your non-fairy fairy creature person. Juvia, was it? I promised Biggles I would teach him how to draw chibis, and so I had to work on his character. And apparently there are different outfits for different seasons. Makes total sense. And I apparently picked the right season. I just picked the one that I thought was the prettiest. The one that I thought would be an easy outfit and also was really interesting. That's something I try to do with my guests, is that, you know, when I try to teach people, you want it to still be interesting and pretty enough, not something too basic. So maybe sometimes I push the boundaries a little bit with my guests when I teach them, just to see how willing they are to get out of their comfort zone. And you know what's the funny thing about life too, is that they don't realize how difficult something is until I've told them. Like the last time I had my guests on, it was like that Tug Life and Culture Casino. I'll be like, I'll let you in on a little secret. What we just did right now was actually really difficult, and you did a great job. Hey, it's our dear friend Maria from Unlocking Lore. How are you? Bingle says, last night on my channel, we were fighting about Juvia, Lucy, and Azure, so I'm excited to learn to draw Juvia. Yes, we'll get that done. Like I said, I'm out and about traveling. I'm visiting with the parents. You know, it was Father's Day not too long ago. And but today I'm actually visiting or having some friends over that that don't live in Florida. So we're gonna take the time to hang out while I'm here. So yeah, I think I'm gonna outline this character and then see, because you know I have evolved as a person. And my art style has. So it's like, what would I do differently? You know, what can I alter? What can I change? And Man, I did a pretty good job with these folds here because I am terrible with the fabric, as I tell you all regularly. I'm not sure what I did here. This looks really very strange. Something like that. We'll allow we'll allow for it. Maria says, I'm doing good now, working on some sketch cards. One of them is a commission, so keep your fingers crossed that it comes out nice. It will. You know, when I would charge for commissions, I would add, like when I did photography, I would add on a stress fee because it's freaking stressful. People don't have a clue, especially if you're doing weddings. Ugh. All right. So normally so here's the conundrum. Normally my chibis have 4 fingers. I keep it simple, right? We basically just omit the pinky and we go with the almost Yoda hands here. But because of the blades, otherwise Buggy would only have 2. So I guess we're just going to go outside the norm and continue to keep. But now we're going to come back and visit this hand later because I would like to, I've gotten a little bit better with doing hands. So even though this one's going to include an extra appendage, an extra phalange, we're going to see if we can, maybe I'll have to change this. I love the composition of this. It's so balanced in my opinion. I think the shape is perfect. So I don't want to, I think I should do that. The stress is pretty horrible. Yeah. You know, you love what you do, but it does. Okay. So the thing is, people don't think about it but think of it, but put it this way, Maria. Consider it this way. When you have somebody like go overseas into dangerous areas, I've heard of people that had certain occupations within the government, they will have what's called like a suicide fee. Not that they're committing it, but because they're going to such a dangerous place, there's an additional cost besides, you know, hiring them for service. Then they add all these other things up. And it's no different than like, you know, booking a flight or whatever the case might be. And they add on all these things that equate. Remember our word equivalate? Yeah, equate is apparently the real word you're supposed to be using. But I like equivalate. But anyway, so you think about the strain that it puts on your body. Stress is not healthy for us. It's an inevitable part of life, but it's not healthy for us. So, you know, you can add that on to your fees because it is a health concern. People might not look at it that way, but it's a real thing. Like you know, if you're taking it seriously, of course you are what you are, of course. Then it's important. It's almost like a health concern thing there. Anyway, let's see. All right. I almost, you know, we're not going to do it today, but a part of me wants to recreate this character from scratch, like using this instead of tracing, using it as my guide and then seeing how different it would look. Maybe one day we'll do that. Because I'm traveling, I thought I would stick to something a little more easy to do. But I think also with the ear, what I'm going to do is, and by the way, my Escape the Backrooms, my latest little comic strip there is almost finished. And if you're out there, I put a beard on Moss. Even though Moss said it was okay, but I didn't. And I gotta say, I don't like it. I don't like it near as much. I don't like it. I don't know. There's just something about it that's just off-putting that I don't know. I think it's like a stylistic choice where it's not like it doesn't look like Moss, but somehow I just prefer it without. I feel like I'm going to start getting charged a stress fee by Tabitha if you hire me. People don't know. And you know what? You think about, you guys, some of you might not understand, like as an artist, number one, there's the mental stress of trying to capture the vision of what your client wants from you, then trying to upgrade it a little bit and make it better than what your client wants, because sometimes your clients just they have an idea, but they don't know how to bring it to life. And maybe they're copying this idea from somebody else. And they're like, I want it to look like this. And your artist trusts their instincts and they kind of get a beat on what their client is saying. And so they will add a little more flair. And that's always a gamble. And then there's also the body. Like, we stay hunched over our desks, depending on the medium, of course, but we stay hunched over our desks for hours. Okay. And it puts a physical strain on literally your entire body. You might think, well, you're just using your hand if you're drawing, but you have to engage so many of the muscles to hold your pen or your paintbrush steady, you have to make sure that your posture, like, that's the other thing too. We forget about our posture. So our shoulders and our backs suffer, and then we're in pain, and then we got to go to the chiropractor, and that takes extra money. So there's a lot of physical activity happening just like in one spot. Like, we're not like going all over the place. Not like we're building a house, but there's still a lot of mental strain, but there's also a lot of physical strain, because I'll get up from working for hours on something and I'm like, oh, and you got to stretch and you feel like you need to go for a bike ride or like lean over a fence or something backwards so that you stretch out your back. I work for Sevi and Arut. I understand stress for sure. Faux shizzle. I draw better with my mouse than with a pencil. Well, it depends on what you learn with. There are some people like that. That's like some people. So I have like, this is my mouse, pretty regular kind of mouse as far as the shape goes. There are some people that, and you have to move it around, right? You remember that there's some mice that have the ball on it and that's how you move it around. You just use your thumb. I can't do that. That is too much extra work for me. But there's some people that's what works. It just depends. And sometimes the way we learn, it doesn't necessarily mean it's the best way. Somebody could come along and say, hey, have you ever considered doing this? And you're like, no, thanks. I've always been doing it this way. But it's like, yeah, this could improve your life. And sometimes we get stubborn because we're like, I don't want to learn something new. But I had to do that with my video editing software. I totally quit on Adobe for that stuff. And so I could save me money, but I had to learn a new program. And there's still some things about Adobe that I miss, but hey, I'm saving money and it works better. I get cooler stuff that I don't have to pay an extra fee for. So anyway, that's just, the long and short of it. Why does Snoop Dogg carry an umbrella? I have no idea. I feel like a Rice Krispie after a couple of hours of doing art. Exactly. And that's why I'm addicted to yoga. It helps with other, I've been wanting to get started with something like that. No, let me put it this way. I've not been wanting to. I hate stretching, but I know that I need to. And I've heard a lot of older people say this is one of the keys to a healthy life, when you're older. And the other day, my sister-in-law was showing me some kind of stretch move thing that she does. And I tried to mimic it and I could barely get past whatever. And she's like, that's not good. I know. Although post-baby, I'm back at a beginner level, which, I can imagine. That's the part that sucks too about like the body and exercising. Like, it doesn't take long for your body to go back to its default setting. That just sucks. Like all this work that you put into it. And they're like, by the way, this is only going to last as long as you keep up with it. I mean, we know that, but as far as like, it's only going to last a little while, even though you've put, 9 months into it, or, 15 years, man, you miss a weekend. Sorry. Got to start over. Got to start from the beginning. I've been practicing for a long time. If you want any help finding classes on YouTube, sure. Yes. Can you send them like through Instagram or something or wherever? I don't think you're really on the Twitterverse anymore, right? Let me check my... I would love that. I found a couple of people. My thing is like, I would rather exercise than stretch, you know? So if there was a way that it was, let's try something like this. Let's make it, because before, I mean, I know maybe the reason I did that was because of the like when you smile and there's the hump over the cheek. So maybe that's why I did it this way. Let's just give it a try. We're modifying as needed. Hey, DL! I didn't see all your stuff in the beginning of the stream. I missed it. Yes, via the gram, please do. All right, sinister clown here. So yeah, we're going to sketch all this out, and then I'm going to take a look at it, like take a step back, if you will, and assess what changes might need to be made. Let's see. I think for being hand-drawn, I did a mighty fine job. I do. Oh, DL, don't worry. I pick on you, DL. It is totally fine, sir. You just get accustomed to it. Like I said, people didn't know I would be live. I didn't set the show until this morning. I was going to do it yesterday, and then there was something that came up, and I was like, well, let me just do it in the morning so I can be sure that I can, because obviously, as you can see, I'm away. I'm traveling. I'm not in my usual sphere of creativity. I'm not in my box of creativity. And hey, horny elf. Hey. So yeah. All right. Okay. So I think. Oh no. I was gonna say we've got everything taken care of. We do not have the hat. Let me increase this a little bit. But I hope everybody slept well. It's a welcome surprise. Okay. Good. Like I said, I'm trying to get on a schedule. So it looks like Tuesday mornings. Typically, I'm going to try to go live Tuesday mornings at 10 o'clock. Now, I'm probably jinxing myself because every time I've ever said, hey, I'm going to set a schedule, okay? My schedule is going to be this, this, and this. For some reason, it's like as soon as I set a schedule, I get the fear factor, and then I back out of that schedule and I don't commit to it, which is really odd because I'm a commitment freak. So, oh, we got a little smudge over here. So I'm going to do, it seems to work out better that way. I was going to try to do Mondays, but there's just so many other things that I have to do for Monday that Tuesdays just work out better for me. And then I haven't figured out quite an evening schedule yet. So that works for me consistently. So when I get that figured out, we will do that. And there's going to be some changes coming to the channel that are good and just helpful. You got to figure out what works for you, but also works for your audience, of course, because you guys are important. It's kind of like Know Me's slogan. There's no me without you. So, all right, we're going to do the hair. We're going to see maybe if the hair can be cleaner. It's really good though. Damajani, hello. Welcome in. Like I wanted to have like some gaming streams on Sunday mornings after church and stuff like that. That's the other thing, is like keeping up with the gaming streams too. So, you never know. I want to get back to Star Trucker. I think about that all the time. Is it DL that always reminds me about Star Trucker, and I haven't done it? We need to go back. We need to go back into outer space and commit. So you're watching me grow. You're watching me learn, everybody, and I appreciate your patience and your support. It means a lot. Okay, do we got? Oh nope, we don't have this. So, I was doing this on a. What was it? I don't know. I don't think it was an 8 by 10 paper, slightly smaller, maybe was it 5 by 7 when I drew this. And so there's not a lot of room to get into the details. And so I feel like this little skull guy is a little rough. I'm going to make him on a separate layer so that we can like maybe find. Yeah, you like Star Trekker. Exactly. They were fun. They was good times. I think what I need to do is I need to go and watch Star Trek Next Generation and get my vibes on, you know? Feel inspired. Star Trekker was fun. Let's have a look at Buggy's skull over here. Okay, so he does kind of have this line right here. Some things just don't make sense. Oh, I think somebody asked me earlier if I liked the anime. I'm going to assume you meant for One Piece. Like I said, too much screaming, too much yelling, and like everybody panics all the time about everything. That's hard for me to watch regularly. It's hard. There we go. Oh. Okay. I think, except for the hand over here and then the daggers in his shoe, I think we have everything that we need. So let's have a look. What does he look like? So I don't mind the line work in some of the areas. You can tell, obviously, some areas are thicker and some are thinner. I don't know. We might change that. His eyes are a little bit off. I think also I'm going to have to do the dreaded flip. I don't like reading the mangas either. I don't. I wanted to. They looked beautiful. I love the artwork. They're fascinating. Number one, I don't like reading backwards. It's not my jam. Honestly, for whatever reason, it just gets me way too confused. I don't like it. And then I have discovered that I'm not much into, and I know, don't hate me, but I call it like I sees it. I'm not really into comic books. Manga, comic books, they're pretty much the same. Graphic novels, whatever you want to say. Like, it's cartoons instead of words on paper. And I really loved the idea, but I really did. When I was younger, I wanted to get into it. They have so many at the bookstore. They look so cool. They look like really fun adventures, but it doesn't capture my interest as far as it doesn't retain my attention. Let me put it that way. It captures my interest. They do not retain my attention. That's why I like books. I like novels. I like words. I don't mind if there's pictures in books. What is it Gaston would say in Beauty and the Beast? It's not a real book if there's not even pictures in it or something like that. I did enjoy but I think it also depends on the story too. Like Achromatic Chronicles Blue and Green. Loved the stories. Maybe it's because I know the person that wrote them. I know the person who did the artwork. So maybe it's because there's this connection because of the knowing. But at the same time, it's not a style that I want. I'm pretty sure there's some, pretty sure there's some mangas out there that I would enjoy, but it goes by so quickly. It's just my prefer. I had discovered that sadly I am not much for comic books, even though I like them and I liked them growing up. I have evolved into a person who just prefers novels. But maybe it's also because I didn't exactly grow up with comic books. Like I had some, but like some people went to the store all the time to keep up with the stuff. I only like every now and then was able to get them. So maybe that's one of the reasons. Okay, so we're going to do the dreaded horizontal flip. Are you ready? No, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. His other eye, the smaller one, needs to be fixed. But surprisingly, I did a pretty good job placing everything where it needs to be, at least in my mind, from what I can tell. Okay, so let's go ahead while we still have some time in the brush hour. Horny Elf says, I had comics as a kid, but I was more of a gamer myself. I can't say I was more of a gamer. What is happening? Oh, shoot. Wrong situation there. I can't say I was more of a gamer. My brother was definitely the gamer. I liked watching the stories unfold. I loved watching the artwork, and so I loved watching my brother play Prince of Persia, Legend of Zelda games, and Metroid Prime. I loved watching my brother play these games. I watched him play other games too because he was just more into it than I was, and obviously as the second born child, I didn't have the access to things like he did because, well, he just was faster, smarter than I was to get to things. Let's finish off Buggy's face really quickly here, and then we'll put the eye on there. So his face would go right here, although his eye surpasses his face. This is bizarre. Maybe we extend his face a little bit. Let's go ahead and get rid of this here too. It wasn't until later that I got into gaming. I'm still not quite like everybody else. Like I don't know necessarily all the companies that did this. I don't know the graphics quality. I don't know this, that, and the third. When it comes, I don't know all the main details that a lot of people, the news reports, like sometimes I'll watch like Tuesday night's main event for Geeks and Gamers, and I'm listening to all these people talking about the history of whatnot, and didn't in 96 they do this, and you remember when the blah 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 came out and this happened, and it's like, wow, that's amazing. Obviously it's where their passion is, and it's just like, I have no idea. I never cared. I didn't care. I still don't care. I like sometimes I think to myself, maybe I should care, just for conversation's sake, but I'm like, I don't care, I just want a good game. I know when it's a good game. Like, I know when it's a good game for me. Like, okay, that's why I always go back to Dragon Age, Skyrim, Mass Effect. There's plenty of other great games out there, but these are the games that have always kept my attention. They've always interested me and kept my attention. They've retained it to the end. If any of you follow me over on Kick, which, by the way, dreaming_Tabitha, you'll know that I'll start a lot of games and then I'll never finish them. And not that I didn't like them, but they just didn't quite retain my attention. Maria's like, I have no idea. All right, so Buggy's eye. We're going to kind of shift things around here because it didn't quite make sense. We're going to do... Oh. All right, let's just clean that up. Oops. I've always said that I'm the kind of person who knows a little bit about a lot. I don't know a lot about everything, but I do know a little about everything. Which, what is it that Maria always says? She's a master of none, how's it go? A something of many, whatever the case might be. That's definitely me. I tend to wish that I was the kind of person who solely focused on one thing. I did that back when I was younger, when it came to history, sort of. I studied like cultural anthropology. I love history, but I studied cultural anthropology quite a lot when I was younger. I am fascinated, and I still am, by why we do the things that we do. Why do we say the phrases that we say? DL, don't come in here with that sass. I see you over there. I know. I've promised my followers one day I'm going to finish a Legend of Zelda game. I still haven't done it. I really enjoyed Tears of the Kingdom. Still haven't finished it. And then they go and announce that they're going to be releasing The Wind Waker soon for Switch 2, which I'm all about. So one day, DL, maybe we'll just have to do a maybe one day I'm just gonna have to have like a 6-hour gaming stream when I get back to my home. I'll get a 6-hour gaming stream for Tears of the Kingdom. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Jill, yeah, Maria changes it. She says a Jill of all trades, master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one. Yeah, Icanalus had half of it right. So apparently, Icanalus, we all know the first half. We don't know the second. So yeah, that I would definitely say that I'm a jack of all trades, master of none. I know a little bit about a lot. I just don't know a lot about a little bit. Oh, okay. So I didn't go with the shape, but I think it works. You know what? Let's erase this and then let's do the horizontal flip here. The dreaded horizontal flip. So that was one of those things where I kind of refused to be the person that's like, yeah, I'm going to do the horizontal flip because it's very humbling and disturbing. Like you could do a really great job and then you do the flip and it's like, it doesn't cut the mustard. So this one's, it's okay. It needs to be bigger or bolder, obviously, because of the fact that this eye is. But I don't think the size is too off either. But I think maybe if I make it a little bolder, it might be better. Oops. Because, you know, you are kind of meant to stare at just the one eye. And so if I use my face as an example here, you know, I'm like looking at you like, you can see that, you know, one eye looks a little smaller. You only see about, what, 3/4 of the other eye. So maybe that just make it make sense. I'm from Missouri, so show me. Oh, what, the horizontal thing? Yeah, so the way that they did it, like, I think it was Da Vinci. I don't know if he invented this method or rather discovered this method, but one way to make sure that your characters are like symmetrical or things are working out properly, especially when it comes to the face, as complicated as the face is to mirror it. And so Da Vinci would paint, if I'm not mistaken, he would set up 2 different mirrors, I think it was. Or no, he would look at his subjects. That's what it was. He would paint facing away from his subjects and and just have a mirror next to him and paint what he saw in the mirror. And then if he needed to check the reference, see if he was still on point, then he would turn around and look at his subject the correct way. And so they've allowed us to have this feature in, you know, programs like Procreate where we just with a push of a button. I do wonder if it's a wee bit small. Let's try the dreaded liquefy that I have yet to really figure out. All right, pretty sure that's too big. Okay, I'm not sure why it ballooned up. I didn't leave it on there. Oh, momentum. Maybe that's what it is. Let's reset. Well, see, now it just looks swollen. It's like the shape is right. It's just not big enough. So let's just kind of do this. Get rid of this. Just touch it. Touch. What's everybody's plans for today? I know it's only Tuesday, but it's summertime, so hopefully you have some fun things planned. 4th of July should be crazy this year, hopefully, for many reasons. Next year, the big 250. Too big 50. See, I don't know. I feel like my character looked... I mean, it looks a little wonky. I ain't gonna lie. So, I think it's because of this gap right here is why. Let's get rid of this. Going to the beach! Can I come with you? Maria, please? Thought we was friends. You're sleeping today. Nice. Nice. Everybody needs it. All right, so then let's get rid of this. I'm Batman. It's kind of what these eyes are telling me. Maybe this is what we needed. Okay, not quite. Not quite. I don't know. Something about this is off. What is it? Cancel. I think somehow I made his eye go past his face. And that's the reason why. Almost like he was wearing a mask. So it's kind of like this. Almost like the way that I do the eyelashes too. My plans after the stream, I'm going to meet with a friend for some coffee. I am. Oh, my iPad has shifted. Hang on. There we go. I'm not going to do much outside today. It's hot. It is. It's very hot. It's very, very hot. Get loads of YouTube today. Got loads of YouTube today. What does that mean, Julia? Are you a streamer too? Oh, I think that's what it was. For some, I guess I'm treating the face paint like eyelashes, and for some reason, it just looks better, in my opinion, like it's going off of the face. Hey, it doesn't make sense, but if it works, it works, you know? Chores, yeah, we all got them chores. So how's the visit with your family going? Great, great. We took my niece to go see How to Train Your Dragon, the live action remake. It was good. It was good. However, there were changes that were made, and it wasn't great. It was good. And I was I didn't watch anybody else's reviews. Oh, okay. Got you, Julia. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I try to keep up with the folks everywhere too. Looking, trying to scope things out. Yeah, it was good, but it wasn't great. And I tried not to watch anybody's reviews before I went to go see it. And then I watched somebody this morning, and he worded it just perfectly. Like, he was a super, I don't know if you guys know Matthias from Dope or Nope or Team Edge or all of his numerous channels that he's had for the past decade or more. But he worded it so well. He's like, because there were moments of the film where it was very cookie cutter, so you knew what to expect. For the most part, they kept it pretty true to the cartoon, but then there were quite a few changes that were made that were completely unnecessary and just kind of filled these gaps that were leaving you kind of weird. When you watch it, he worded, this is exactly what he said, and it's so true. He's like, watching this movie was like trying to watch a dream that you had, and then some things are just off, and you're trying to remember what it was that you actually saw in your dream. Because he addressed the topic of the fact that, the casting choice for Astrid. He's like, I have really no problem if somebody is so good for the role that it kind of doesn't matter what color their skin is. Now, to be fair, she's pretty much white. She's very light-skinned gal. I mean, her father's white, her grandfather's white. Like, she just, and she's a beautiful gal. But he was saying, they didn't make her very heavily blonde. And he's like, which is very strange because the character looks like that in the cartoon. And they were so, they attempted to try to make so many of these iconic characters look like the cartoon, that it was like, well, why didn't they strive for this? Plus, with it being, um, I don't there were moments where I thought she did really well as Astrid, like, she did have the toughness there, but it really wasn't about the actress as it was somehow I knew something was off when they first introduced Astrid, and if you guys have seen the cartoon and you remember that Hiccup was narrating and he gets to Astrid and then you can tell he's enamored by her. He's just in love with her, right? He's like, and then there's and Astrid comes in the cartoon and does this amazing, she's like putting out whatever fires and there's like this explosion and she like tosses her hair, this really girliness. And they didn't do that in the movie, right? It was so bland, Astrid's like reveal. Like she comes in all cool and everything and she's doing like parkour and whatever, that's cool. But then when they actually zoom in on Astrid's face, like there's no explosion in the background. There's no like, I'm the girl next door, which we all know that Astrid wasn't really about that. But in Hiccup's like reveal of Astrid, it was like, oh, that's the girl. That was really bizarre to me. It was very lackluster. Hey, it's horror with nuts. Is Nadia Tabitha or so? Thank you. It's the bad lighting in my room. Thank you. I'd be fine with the actress. They just put a wig on her. Yeah. She didn't do a bad job, but it was also weird because then you started noticing that, exactly. Then there was like, they did the twins and they decided to not make them identical twins. Now there was a moment of humor when they were joking around being like, yeah, we're twins. Our mom can't tell us apart. And that's kind of the joke because the sister is overweight. The dude who played as the brother, I thought he was spot on. Like I feel like as all the side characters, he was spot on. He looked like it and everything. It was just too old. Clearly too old to play that role. But he, in my opinion, did it spot on. But all of a sudden you started noticing the diversity of, I'm just gonna put it the way it is, the diversity of skin color through the island. It wasn't a lot of them, just a few of them. And that was kind of weird because number one, it's not like the cartoon. And secondly, it's like, okay, they're Vikings. And there is also, this is something that Matthias pointed out. He's like, there's a big difference between Vikings and Norse people. He's like, yeah, you can say that the Vikings went all throughout the land and they made it as far as Africa and things like that. And there was this moment where they actually explain, like really quickly, the diversity of it, where they talk about how we came from other lands and we unified with the Isle of Berk. It's like, oh, okay, so they made it make sense. And then there's also this moment where Astrid is like, Hiccup, you've had everything handed to you. I've had to work for it. And one day I plan to be chief. I'm not saying that this was not a girl boss movie, but it was definitely weird, like that they added all these things for no reason. Like they had to take the time to explain why the island was diverse when they didn't need the island to be diverse. It didn't move the story along. It didn't make it more powerful. It was like they were trying. It's weird. It's almost like that was exactly the point that Matthias made, where it's like, you've seen a movie and then you tell somebody, here, can you recreate it from memory? That's it. The way he put it was like my thoughts put to his, how does it go from my mind to your lips? Is exactly right. Yeah, the animated movie was better. This wasn't terrible. There were a lot of great moments, but that was the other thing too, where it's like you're watching this, what happens next, but then they decide to change or omit parts of the movie. And so then you're thrown off like, wait a minute, I thought there was something here. Am I wrong? Because it was so similar to the original. It's like, even when Astrid was telling Hiccup her story about you've always had to grow up with a silver spoon in hand and you've had everything handed to you. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. I don't remember that being. in the movie. And then when she was saying that she came from another land and stuff like that, it was like, so, and then there was like this thing with, what's his name, Snotlout, where he was constantly trying to prove to his father that he was a worthy Viking. That wasn't necessary. We could all tell that he had little man syndrome. It was very evident that he had little man syndrome. So we didn't need that he was I don't know why they felt like these characters, these side characters, needed a backstory. Maybe it's because it was from cartoon to animation, from animation to live action, that they were trying to fill in some gaps. But there was like, the beginning felt so rushed. This was also the case in Lilo and Stitch. Now, I enjoyed Lilo and Stitch, and I think everything got kind of blown out of proportion. That's my personal opinion. But the beginning of Lilo and Stitch and the beginning of How to Train Your Dragon, in my opinion, while beautiful and neat to look at, it was so quick. And I think that's because you're taking a different kind of style, different kind of medium, and then translating it into another one, that when you're trying to make it, because cartoons aren't real, they're not realistic in a lot of ways. Characters move faster, they're kind of flubbery, like it moves, the pace is completely different too. And while I will also say, this was pointed out to me as well, while How to Train Your Dragon was actually, was it longer than the cartoon, or was it, no, it was shorter? How was that? It felt like things were going too fast, even though the movie was longer. It was weird. So, all of these things that, to point out, I don't think that the thing is with the Astrid and the diversity of the island, it didn't hurt the movie, but it didn't help the movie or move the story along. So it was unnecessary, and therefore it was a distraction from an already near perfect film. So that was also, if I'm not mistaken, they left out a very important scene, isn't it? Or a phrase, didn't they? They didn't have something like, "We were wrong about you all this time," or something like that. A very important phrase or a sentence that Hiccup says that was not in the movie. And it's like, that's a really big part of the story. The brother twin was great and had the perfect face for his character. They again should have put him in a blonde wig. Yeah, I was okay with him, even with slightly darker hair, because it's he was also a side character, so it's fine. But yeah, he was honestly, even though he was, and this isn't a great example of somebody who might not be he really was too old to play that character, unless he has one of those conditions where he just looks older than he really is. But he played the character perfectly. My problem is, if they're going to make it almost shot for shot, then why make it at all? This was my opinion. My brother and I and my mom agreed. All of us, we kind of chit-chatted about it. We're like, this was a good movie. Was it necessary? No. We didn't need this movie. I think that Universal was releasing it because it helps hype up Epic Universe, which totally makes sense. Great marketing ploy. Perfect for the next coming generation of kids who may not be familiar with the cartoon, and then they're going to go back and watch, the TV shows on Netflix and stuff like that. So that's fine. I get it. But overall, I would probably watch this again if somebody said, "Hey, you want to watch it?" Will I watch it on my own? Absolutely not. Because I could just watch the cartoon that had no problems. It was perfect. It was great. It was great. Oh my girl. Well, we are coming up on the hour. I am going to have to go because I am spending time with my family, and I'm going to go head out and have some coffee with a gal pal. Looking forward to hanging out with her. I appreciate everybody as always. If you would do me a solid and hit the like button on your way out, I would greatly appreciate that. Again, I'm hanging out with my family. I'm going to be here for a little while because I love them, and they have dogs. You guys, I know I love dogs. And so I just want to hang out with the dogs. I also want to see my niece before I go back to Florida. But hope you all have a wonderful, marvelous day. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and putting up with my technological trial and error. And I'm going to be releasing soon my little comic strip that I did between Moss, Sevi, Nomi, and I playing Escape the Backrooms, or as we like to call it, Cake in the Backrooms. Really happy with how it turned out. Learning so much with this style. planning to do so much more with it. I can't wait to reveal it to you guys, but I appreciate you all so much. And so I'm going to try to stream again soon. I can't make a promise as to when, because life is ever fleeting, life is ever changing, but I do appreciate it. And yes, I will stay hydrated. Here's my Stitch cup that I got at the theater. Look at this. So I will be staying hydrated and having fun while doing so. Let me find a nice little, it's kind of doing this like touch screen, but it's okay. Anyway, oh, you know what?
If I was watching this video, I would like it. I would like the video, and I would probably subscribe because this is so thoroughly entertaining and also well executed. It's a